All right, so we're live.
We are live.
All right, guys, we're going to wait for a few people to join us, and then we can begin. Hey, we got one person there already.
Awesome.
All right, guys, welcome to the chat. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, we're just waiting on Alex for anyone who's joining us, but he's going to be here in just a moment.
He's having a cheeky Nando's, so always thinking with his stomach.
Yeah, guys, so I hope you got some good questions for Mr. Kidd.
Yeah, press the share button as well, please, guys. The more we can have in the chat, the more fun it'll be.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah, if everyone can share this, that'd be really cool.
And don't forget that magic link, guys, when you first come into the stream. Click the link, give your permission, and you can get your name showing up on the screen and so on then.
Yeah, just take a look at the post above the video. There'll be a link there. Click on it, and then we can, when you post a question, we can have your name there. All right, so we got a couple of comments coming in.
Afternoon, LJ.
Yo, yo.
Luke.
Oi, oi. Afternoon.
Hey, guys, everyone. How's it going?
All right, guys, so make sure you click that link above the video. That way we can display your comments. Still waiting on Alex. Just munching down his Nando's. So yeah, well, let's start. We got quite a few in already. So yeah, let's start off. Who's heard our latest episode with Alex Kidd? Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of the podcast so far. We can't believe we're already on episode 7. I mean, 7 months has absolutely flown by. It's been crazy.
Absolutely flying by. And it was great to do the 2-hour special last month as well. 2-hour show celebrating 6 months. So that was really cool.
Yeah. I think we even end up doing a 2-hour one of these with Joey. I think.
Yeah, we did, yeah, as a special 6-month anniversary one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always good fun chatting to Joey, and he had plenty to say for himself and for himself, and yeah, it was really good. So see, the tash is gone, Dale.
Yeah. So let's have should we have a banter-free live chat? I can't see that happening. The no moustache, sensible haircut.
Yeah, I think it was the fair thing to do so that we could make sure this episode we actually chat about the guests, not about you.
Let's keep it podcast and music related. Yeah.
Yes, Lloyd.
What's happening?
Wicked, glad you enjoyed that, mate. Hope you boys are good. Been smashing new songs up when we can rave again. Yes, I absolutely can't wait. Been busy in the studio as well, working on lots of new music. So. Yeah, I'm going to be fully prepared by the time we get back to a rave.
Yeah, all the tunes. You think all the tunes we've been putting into the podcast the last few months, none of them have been played out. So looking forward to getting them out and about.
Hey, so here's Mr. Alex Kidd.
There he is, guys. Welcome. Woo!
All right, cool. So yeah.
Oh, we are live.
Yeah, we are live. We are live. So, guys, get your questions in for Mr. Kidd. Yeah, post those questions.
Yeah, it's getting a bit long, I know.
Yeah, I think I'm wearing a hat.
First question, Alex. First question, how was your Nando's?
I ate it so fast that if you hear hiccups throughout this conversation, you're going to know why. I just went for the simple butterfly chicken and 2 sides. It was pretty good.
Nice. That's making me feel hungry. So, yeah.
Well, when you go to Nando's, what do you order?
I like I never go for the spicy stuff. So it was lemon and lime or the mango and something. They did have a new flavour the last time I went there, and I can't remember what it was. But I normally go for half a chicken and then 2 of the veg stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to. I'll vary it up every time I go, I think.
What did you have, Al? What did you have,
Butterfly chicken.
Oh, nice.
Butterfly.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Spicy rice, which is still in my teeth. Corn on the cob, yeah, it was delicious. Just what I needed.
It's quite healthy, that is, as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah, could be worse.
Yeah,
but the secret with Nando's, not many people know this, I don't think. It's all about the green sauce, the wild herb sauce. Do you know about that?
Okay. I didn't know. Okay.
No, I didn't know. Try that.
Everyone just goes for peri peri, and it's like, that shit's for tourists. You need to go for the green wild herb sauce. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, I need to try that.
That's logged. I'm gonna go for that the next time.
Yeah, cool. Awesome to see you getting a track done with Joey. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, actually, before we get into the track, yeah, so basically it came off the back of this because we were having a chat here with Joey last month, and someone suggested we did a collab for his Power Stomp album, and so yeah, we did it. So it was literally off someone's idea here. So yeah, that was that, and the track's almost finished as well. So
can we hear it?
What's that?
Yeah, hear a clip.
Well, actually, Joey did a live stream where he was working on it, because like I worked on half of it, sent it to him, and then he carried on. So he did a live stream where he was working on it. So there's been a preview up already, but there'll be another one coming very soon as well. Yeah, here's that, Mr. Kids. How long till USB is getting sent out, Alex?
I get this question asked quite a lot these days. I think they arrive to my house in the next few days, so within 7 days, I'm guessing.
Brilliant. You seem to have put that together really fast, because like, when I did the Cali and Juice, it took forever to sort out. But it seems like you've done it really fast from when you were talking about it.
Well, I guess we all had a lot of time on our hands the past few months, so it was a good time for me to do it. Really, it was.
He hasn't slept
because of it's because of this whole like COVID bullshit that gave me the time to do it. Otherwise, I was probably too busy working on the events and working on my own tracks and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like pretty much overnight, I had all this time on my hands, and I started going down memory lane a little bit, doing a few posts about old music and old events and stuff. And a few people were asking how they can get hold of my old music. And then my girlfriend also said, you should do a USB stick. And I've got this kind of obsessive personality that as soon as like I have this idea, it takes priority, and that's all I can think about. So yeah, I spent every day and night for the next couple of weeks just getting all the material together. And it was really fun as well. It gave me a chance to like remember some things that I completely forgot about.
Yeah, because is it 50 gigabytes?
Yeah,
that's.
I mean,
yeah.
You two feature on a lot of the content as well, because
cool.
Yeah, there's just been so many gigs where I didn't even realize the sets were recorded, especially the Slam Vinyl ones, because they make a huge business out of selling the CD packs, right?
Yeah.
So I went on the Slamming Vinyl shop and I had to spend about 300 quid buying CD packs.
Wow.
Just to get my own live sets out of there, so I could rip them and then put them on the USB.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad about saying that either, because yeah, it's my set, so I should be allowed to rip it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, the reason I said it is because like I've had such great support of like all the different artists and labels that are featured on this USB stick. A lot of them have been really helpful, getting me the content and being saying like, yeah, you can use that material, no problem. Different labels like Tidy or Massive and stuff like that have all said, it's all great, crack on. But then there's been a couple of people that have been like asking me for royalties and stuff like this, and
I mean, the thing is, it reminds me a little bit of the CD packs, and obviously before that the tape packs. When all the big events, like Westfest in particular, when they do their CD packs, no one ever goes asking them for money or anything. But at the end of the day, it's really good for the scene. It's good for all the artists involved. I think putting out something like your pack, and the same as ours, it's just even if there are other artists featured on there, it doesn't matter. It's just really good. It's just a positive thing for everyone, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, even though it's an Alex Kidd USB, it's really a hard dance USB because the different events and the different artists that feature on there, it's a really big snapshot of what us guys have been doing for the last 20 years, you know, all the different, I mean, there was so many brands back in the day that used to be the biggest brands in the scene, and we used to perform at them all month in, month out. Now it's vanished. And I completely forgot about places like Wild Child in London and all these different events, huge, that we all used to perform at. And it was really cool to kind of get the live sets and see all the old posters and stuff and put them in. So I guess if you've just only got into the scene in the past couple of years, it'd be really interesting to see some of these brands. Like there's quite a few Bionic live sets in there, and Bionic was such a huge part of all our lives, but if you've only been into the scene the past couple of years, it probably doesn't mean as much to you because you never experienced it.
Yeah. Same as like the London scene as well. I mean, that was massive, and obviously, like the majority of events that were happening, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, most of them are gone now. But then I suppose that's the same sort of everywhere, isn't it? So
I guess it is. So, like, did you do a Bionic USB stick or a Cali and Juice USB?
No, we did. Do you know what? We should have done a Bionic one, but no, we didn't. We did a Cali and Juice one. So they were lots of. Well, so they were all our releases, or most of our releases, the ones we could put out. They were all our bootlegs. There were lots of live sets. There were some live videos as well where we managed to get some footage. But one thing I'm gutted that you thought of that we didn't think of, and that was sort of messaging everyone and saying, right, if anyone has got sets of ours, can you send them to us? I saw you doing that. I thought that's a brilliant idea because I bet there are sets of all of us that you even know exist.
Yeah.
I was like, when I put that message out, there was like do you remember the website called Live Sets Data, LSDB?
Yeah, is that still going?
I think it might still be live, but it was a lot bigger back in the day when when we all started. That was like the go-to place to download sets and get live streams. So I searched for Alex Kidd and searched the whole site, and it came up with a directory of maybe hundreds and hundreds of live sets of mine. So I was like, sweet, bingo! I just need to sit here and download them all. Job done. But every one of the files was missing, or every one of the files was expired. It was like I could see that someone had recorded a set, but I couldn't get it. So then I was on a real mission to try and hunt it down. And and then I reached out to a few like old Kid Fetchers fans, and there was a few kind of like hoarders that really collected all those sets from back in the day. And then it was a case of digging out the old hard drives, because a lot of these hard drives are corrupted after so many years. Like I've got a massive box of all my old hard drives, and you're either missing the lead that you need to get it to work, or I don't know. It was a mission anyway, so I'm glad that chapter of my life is closed.
Yeah, definitely. But
you mentioned posters just now as well, Al. I saw that on Instagram. I think it was today. You've put all your posters in like a scrapbook.
Right. Well, it was my mum, bless her.
Oh, was it really? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it looked really, really cool. And again, loads of memories to go through there, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like she made 2 books, one of flyers and one of posters.
Brilliant.
And I used to just give my mum, if you've been DJing at a festival or a venue and you see a flyer at the door on your way out, you just throw it in your record bag, don't you? Or your microphone case in your case, Dale. But and then I just used to get these flyers and posters and chuck them at my mum. I never thought she collected them. I thought like when I left the house, they just end up in the bin. So yeah, nice touch.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, everyone listening. So I tell you what, a question for everyone listening. Let us know where you first saw Alex playing out. That would be what venue? That would be really good to know. So what we got?
Do you guys also collect your old stuff? Have you got like flyers and posters in a box somewhere?
In a box, yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first year of DJing ever, and I got this like it was like the old fashioned sort of photo albums where you put the photos in. So I'd one of those, and I remember sticking all the flyers in neatly, and I'm sure it lasted like about 7 months, and I thought, I'll stuff that, and it all went in a bag after that. But
I've got flyers, posters, I got wristbands, boxes,
I got a big shoebox full of wristbands. Everyone used to ask me for them. I feel bad because I go, no, I want to.
I want them, yeah.
Especially the lanyards. The lanyards, everyone would think that like on your way out you'd just be giving it out, but no, I guess I've got a big shoebox actually, a huge shoebox. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll give them to someone that needs them more than I do.
Yeah.
Maybe a competition's.
Yeah, so here we go. We got someone here. So I only found out, David Williams, only found out about hardstyle in 2016. My first event was Alex Kidd in Chester, Kidstock warm-up reversion. Do you remember that?
No.
No, you should. That wasn't even that long ago. Jamie J-Trax has joined us.
Easy, Jamie. Me and Jamie have been working on a track together, actually.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, brilliant. Do you want to talk about that? Or can you?
Oh, Alex is gone.
His Wi-Fi was sort of dodgy. It's gone.
Either that or he didn't want to talk about the collab. And he's back. Yeah, what's the collab with Jamie? Oh, actually, wait there. What am I on about? Okay, you can tell everyone, but I have heard this, and it's amazing.
Okay, well, yeah, it's on the podcast, right?
It's on the podcast, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So it's actually an AK-47 collab, which means it's over 70 BPM, and I guess everyone thinks that's UK hardcore, but I don't even think it sounds like hardcore. Really, it's more just like banging, fast, hard dance music, but it fits in that hardcore category, right? And it's a really good combination because it's got that AK-47 driving sound with bags of energy, and mixed with Jamie's melodies, and he's like so talented with all his all his riffs and melodies. It really blew me away when he showed me what he put together for the track. So sometimes you can do a collab and you do your bit on the track, and then the other producer sends you what they've done. Oh, we've lost Callie. I'll just tell you, Dale. Back. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. So I was just saying, sometimes you can do a collab and then the other guy does their bit on it, and if you're not feeling what they've done on it, it can get a bit awkward because then you're like, oh, what do I do? Tell you that I don't like it. But thankfully with Jamie, it worked really smooth because the first melody he wrote for it just sounded like a great melody and also fitted the vibe of the track perfectly. So really cool with that. Really happy with that, how that turned out. And we just had news this week that John Kutsky wants to release it on Keep the Rave Alive. So there's a bit of upfront information.
Yeah, brilliant news. Because the AK-47 sound, I reckon, is really, really unique. So like you said, for Jamie to kind of jump on board on the track and just write something that fitted that style, I think is really cool because it's definitely a unique sound. I remember the first track, is it Blow Something or...
Blow Your Mind.
Blow Your Mind, yeah. I think that was the first AK-47 track I heard. And yeah, that's it, yeah. I think that was the first AK-47 track I heard. And I kind of didn't know. I was like, what the hell is this? Because it was like 170 BPM. And I thought, I didn't make the connection with UK hardcore. To me, it didn't sound like hardcore. I just thought, all I know is I want to play it. And I thought we get a problem here because it's 170 BPM. And the first couple of sets I played, I dropped it to 150 and it sounded really cool. But then when I started listening to it at home on 170, I thought, no, I want to play the 170 because it sounds amazing. So then I would just literally drop it in my set, speed up just for that track to 170 and then back down again. And yeah, I love it, but it's a unique sound. But yeah, strangely, I didn't make the UK hardcore connection straight away. Like you said, to me, it sounds, I don't know, maybe closer to hardstyle, I think, but just faster.
Mm.
But you've definitely created your own niche with it, and I think that's really cool.
Thank you. I think that's something I've always tried to do is when I'm in the studio, I always enjoy making subgenres.
Yeah.
I mean, hard dance is quite a niche style of music anyway, in the broad spectrum of dance music. You know, hard dance is probably, if you're not into it, you might not really know much about it compared to like EDM and trap and stuff like that. So, but what I find really interesting is all the subgenres within hard dance. So whether it's Psy style or hard Psy, or back in the day I was doing some subground stuff. And just, when there's like a little bit of a trend or a fad and stuff, I kind of, I am a bit of a sucker for jumping on the bandwagon, but it's just something that excites me and it gives me like a bit of motivation to go in the studio and try and create something like that. Because, you know, when you're in the studio just kind of listening to beatport tracks and trying to get inspiration, a lot of things can sound really the same, and it just makes me, I just don't feel like making that typical euphoric Dutch hard style or raw style. It's been done to death by everyone. There's not much more I can add to it. I'm not like a huge fan of it enough to really, you know, try and like dedicate myself to those scenes. I kind of like jumping about between different subgenres and scenes, and writing stuff at 170 is really, it's really stuck with me the past 12 months because I've never written music faster than 150 before. I've always written music at 150 BPM. And taking it up to that 170, it really does change a lot of the mental processes in the studio. I'm probably less worried about the sound design and more thinking about energy to keep up with that pace. And,
the good thing is as well, you're perfectly placed to get support from the hardcore guys, hardstyle guys. You know, you're really crossing over. So, and
sure, I think, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, from all the feedback I've seen, everyone's buzzing about it as well. So it's not like one group of people are buzzing about it and then the other, you just get a few playing it. Everyone's like loving it. So it's just really, really cool. And that must be hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's nice. And I think because I've seen like guys like yourself and Kutski supporting it, and also people like Hixie and Joey Riot and whoever else, that gives me the motivation to, it just gives me the motivation to carry on doing what I'm doing and not change it up too much. Like the biggest problem I find in the studio is overthinking things and second guessing myself.
Man,
you know what it's like. Yeah. You can make something that sounds great and then you'll talk yourself out of it before anyone's even heard it. And you hear it that many times, you compare it to things, and then, you know, you're analysing your own work so much, which really, it can be really uninspiring. So it's a nice change to just kind of write music and not worry so much, I guess.
Yeah, I bet,
that's a really good place to be in, because I know that, like, when I stop trying to, like, you know, like I'll listen to some music and think, right, I want to write music like that. And when I stop doing that and when I trust myself, that's when I really just get on one, and I can literally sit there for 8 hours and finish a track. And then the moment I'm like, no, it needs to be like this or it needs to be like that, that's when I get stuck, because, you know, you just end up, well, you're just going to be a second-rate version of whatever it is you're trying to emulate, rather than just trusting yourself and, you know, and going for it. So I can.
You're not imitating anything because you've got that own sound. You've got to compare to, so you can just do what you want to do.
Yeah, no,
that's true. Yeah, like I've been releasing a few on. I've been releasing a few of the tracks on Technicore's label, 170 Recordings, and we've got like a WhatsApp group going from all the producers that are on the label, and everyone posts their track or their clips or their ideas in the group, and a lot of the stuff is more melodic and more UK hardcore sounding, and it sometimes makes me think, shit, like I'm in this group and I'm on this label, should I be making music to fit with what those guys are doing? But then Alf Technicore constantly reminds me, he always says, like, just do what you're doing, because that's what makes you stand out and separates you from all the other tracks. We don't need more like uplifting UK melodic sounding hardcore, because there's already 10 or 20 guys doing that, but there's no one doing kind of AK-47 style. So yeah, it's a nice feeling. But I know what you mean, Callie, as well. Like when you start listening to someone else's track, or the biggest problem for me actually is when I want to get on a specific label, when I want to sign a record to a certain record label, because then you feel like you have to fit into that record label still. And you listen to all the past releases that have done well on that record label. And it's a really dangerous game to play because you never end up, you know, sounding like yourself, like you said. So, yeah,
exactly. And it's, you know, when I guess when you're trying to do what has already been done, you know, for a label to hear that, it just doesn't sound anything exciting because they're like, well, yeah, we've already got someone doing this and they're nailing it. And, you know, so yeah, no, I think that's good advice for any producers out there, really, to sort of trust themselves more. And yeah, you know, it's a fine line because you've sort of got to fit in and you've sort of got to compete. But if you don't have your own little kind of thing going on, you're lacking that little, you know, something special. And like you said, it takes the pressure off you. You must be in a good place right now because you know,
that's the best part of the pressure. Like I've been able to write great music for. Well, I'm bigging myself up now. Yeah, but I've been able to, you know, write a track from start to finish in the studio for years. It's just, like I said, spending so much time doubting it and second guessing it has really held me back a lot. I mean, I could have released 1,000 tracks, but it's had a really long because I've been really picky about it. And I think the what you said there, it's a really fine line because if you hear a really massive track and you think you can nail that kick drum or you think you can nail that vocal pattern or something, you want to give it a try. But it's like you said, if you release a track like that, people straight away know that who you're trying to imitate as well. Like when Sub-Zero Project came on the scene, the next 50 producers came on the back style kick drums and stuff, and everyone knew that they were the pioneers and everyone else was kind of imitating it. And that's okay for maybe a general listener that doesn't, you know, religiously follow every release like we do, but we're nerds and we kind of spot these things. And it's important to be unique.
Definitely. All right, so do you remember Transaction L2 Truro?
I think many memories.
I remember at the time that place was just one of the best
club, one of the best clubs in the UK, wasn't it? It was
I think that's where the three of us met for the first time.
Do you know? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we stayed in that hotel. Loads of crazy stuff happened. We went to the beach the next day. There's a story about car keys. There's
not the first time.
The first time.
What happened to my car keys? Remind me of the story because I just remember.
We were headed down the beach in the morning. I don't think we'd slept, and we were headed down the beach, and we had a phone call off you, and you're like, guys, stop winding me up. What have you done with my keys? And we're like, don't know what you're on about. Like, we haven't got your keys. And you were like, come on, you know, you guys have been joking around all night. One of you's got my keys. You've definitely taken my keys. And we were like, flipping heck, he really thinks we got them. Anyway, we got down the beach, went in the boot, we're going through our bags and stuff. We're like, whose are these? Next thing we go back going, we're down the beach and we got your keys, but we didn't take them on purpose.
That makes it okay then.
I mean, I remember that venue was just epic. I mean, I remember we would walk in there and it would just be like 1,000 people, wall to wall, and just literally everyone screaming, hands in the air. I mean, you can't even, if you haven't been clubbing in the last few years, I don't even know how you could imagine that. It was just fucking bonkers. Yeah, literally.
And I remember as well because it was like right in the bottom of Cornwall, wasn't it? And the seagulls were huge. The seagulls were the size of like human children. They were absolutely massive. Like I've got this memory. I think it was me and maybe it was Juice, or maybe it was all of us. But we're in the hotel room after, and we climbed out the hotel window to sit on the roof.
Yeah.
And outside my hotel bedroom, I remember. And And I just remember these huge seagulls the size of aeroplanes coming swooping past us. But I don't know if that's because of all the stuff we'd been on the night before or...
I actually remember that story quite similar to how you remember it. So, yeah, but...
Whatever happened to the promoter of that venue?
Chris, he's still promoting. He's not hard dance, but he's doing events all over the UK, different genres. He done something quite local in Swansea recently. He's done stuff down Tenby, West Wales. I only know about them because obviously I'm living in Wales, but he does stuff all over the UK. I think he does not just music. I think he does like comedians. I think he does all kinds of different things, you know.
That's right. Yeah, he does. Yeah. All sorts of events. So lots of stuff as well.
And remember Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie B. Yeah.
Is it?
What's he do with?
I think he moved to London. He's working for like a publishing company or something like some big music industry company. But yeah, I think he's doing really well.
Tommy Quick as well. Tommy Quick online. I haven't seen him for years, but speak to him online now and again.
Yeah, I've seen him pop up online.
Yeah.
See Tommy on my Facebook.
All right, with the John Wynne Jones. Hey, John, how's it going? Yes, I'm sure that is going to be a bit of hard dance history, definitely, especially with 50 gig of music on there. It's definitely going to be buying it. Love the video of Alex flicking through your posters. Callie, have you still got the poster from Flying Time in Truro? I don't think I got a poster of it, but I've got some flyers from old Flying Time events. And Flying Time was probably just before Transaction, so...
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so you're talking 20 years ago? Something crazy. So, that was a long time ago. Hey, Fluffy, Dirtbox and Swansea first time we've seen Alex.
Cool.
Yeah, well, of course we did that event in Swansea, didn't we? Was that a year or 2 years ago now? Remember was it Kids Stock warm up party or something?
Kids Stock warm up, I think. Yeah.
That was a cool little event. That what's the venue called?
Rainbow Rooms.
Yeah, which is like Club Logic.
Which is Club Logic now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Rainbow Rooms at the time. Yeah.
So is that still open, right? Or it will be after this pandemic?
Yeah, so when we did that, it was Rainbow Rooms, but it's Club Logic now. So yeah, they'll definitely be back doing events as soon as this is all, as soon as we're done with all this.
100%.
Yeah.
Sooner.
Yeah. Do you remember the Palace in Bridgewater, Al?
Oh yeah! Wow.
No,
you play there? Was that a Bionic venue?
No,
Firewall.
Firewall. Yeah.
Firewall.
I do remember it. Yeah. I remember the name. I don't remember being inside there because. My favorite kind of Welsh memories were what was the venue called in Cardiff on that industrial estate?
Evolution, is it?
Evolution.
Oh yeah. Oh, Evolution is amazing. Yeah,
brilliant.
That's some epic nights there.
What is that? Is it a venue or has it been
changed
or something?
It's a gym, yeah.
But it literally, if you see pictures of the inside of it, it looks exactly the same. They haven't done anything. They've just the sort of little, the metal bars are on the side of the dance floor. The podiums are still there. The DJ booth is still there. They've literally just taken all the empty space and put gym equipment in there.
Yeah.
So
is my dignity still in?
I haven't seen it. So yeah, Alex Kidd, chalet parties at the Tidy Weekend. Yeah, wasn't there? Was it you who did that? Who I think you set up some decks outside a chalet or something, and the next thing you had like a couple hundred people. Was that you?
Yeah, and wasn't that also the start of Kidstock?
Basically, yeah. I didn't know it at the time.
That's amazing.
That's the story.
Well, I mean, I guess that's why it kind of got successful at the start because it wasn't planned. It wasn't about, building a business or making money. It was all just about raving and doing it for the ravers. So I used to go to I was at most of the Tidy Weekenders in that period. I was playing a lot of them and I was playing a lot in Ibiza for Tidy in Ibiza. So I had a lot of friends at the Tidy Weekenders, and it was one of the afternoons where there was supposed to be something in the Queen Vic pub, but that wasn't really doing it. So we all just set up the decks outside my chalet or one of my friends' chalets, and that grew to like the whole Tidy Weekender just deciding to come outside a chalet, which had never been done before for a party. And it seems quite obvious thing to do now. It's like you've got the sunshine and you've got all that grass area, set up the decks, but no one had done it before. And then that turned into like me having a little mix for half an hour into like a 7 or 8 hour bender outside the chalet.
Wow.
And because there was so many people there that the security decided that it'd be actually more dangerous to split everyone up and break it all up. So they kind of just let it continue and got involved and helped out with passing out water and creating more dancing areas for people. So it was like, it was a really great fun memory from that Tidy Weekender. And when all the videos went out online the week later on Facebook, people were saying, we want to do this again, we want to do this again. So it gave me the idea to go and look for a field to throw a party in. And the video that went out after Tidy Weekender, I didn't post the video, but someone had called it Kid Fields, like Kid Fields live at Tidy Weekender, you know, like as a kind of a piss take of Kid Fields.
Yeah.
And then me and Barry from Good Grief we found this site in Durham, we found this farm, or I think I found it and I showed it him, and I was like, right, we're going to do Kid Fields here, like Kid Fields Part 2. But of course, Barry was already doing things with Creamfields. He had like a Good Grief stage at Creamfields, and he said, no, you can't call it Kid Fields because then Creamfields will ring me up and they'll scream at me for like stealing the name. So I was like, I don't know. We'll call it Kidstock then. I really didn't think about the name. I was just like, whatever came to my head first. And then it's like, well, the first one was in 2007, and we're looking at doing another one next year in 2021. So it stood the test of time, which is nice.
That's brilliant. It's so cool to have such a good story behind the brand as well. It's
fantastic story. I think that's a brilliant story.
Yeah, definitely. That's got to be one of the
back in those days as well. We didn't have that much hard style events, like outdoor events. Like there used to be Escape in the Park, which was great for you guys, but up north it was all about that hard house sound very much. Still, it was all about Tidy and Nucleus and Frantic. Even Frantic and brand the music, and the DJs were like the guys that were getting booked a lot up north. So I think that's another reason why Kidstock works so well, because it meant I could get people like Organ Donors and Dark by Design and RG and people that were playing not straight up hard house music but still in the hard dance scene. It kind of gave those guys a stage to be the star of the show, and that really helped with the path.
Yeah, brilliant. Because before Kidstock, what was the main sort of hard dance festival at that neck of the woods? Or was there
a festival? No, not really. I mean, there was the Tidy Weekenders, but that's North Wales, so I can't really say that's in my part of town.
So
Good Grief was the big brand, but they didn't really do things outside of venues. They were always super clubs and stuff. So, this was the first time we tried doing something outdoor. Really happy with that, because I always find outdoor parties more exciting. I don't know about you guys. I just think there's something about playing outdoors or in a tent that's just always a bit more fun than inside a purpose-built venue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. I've always enjoyed it. But yeah, so a question I got, because when we first sort of came to know you, and I think we sort of, you kind of got on the radar because you were the sort of the Good Grief guy, the Good Grief resident. But was there like much of Alex Kidd before Good Grief, or did you literally start off there, or did you have much of a sort of career up north before Good Grief?
That's a cool question, because like for me, as soon as I started DJing, it was my life. But I guess outside of the Northwest, a lot of people didn't hear of me for a few years until Good Grief became a national brand. Yeah. So I was playing out every weekend. I was playing out 3 or 4 times a week in all these smaller little places. But really, I wasn't on the radar of anyone until Good Grief kind of got all the Mixmag coverage and stuff like that. Yeah, so, It's interesting because I've got so many memories, or I wish I had memories, but there was a lot of things that happened that a lot of people just probably don't know about. And going through my poster and flyer books have reminded me about all of those memories, actually, because I've been digging up things from like 2001, which is just so long ago, year 2000, and even like 1999, I was playing in some small clubs in Manchester, which is a really long time ago now. I think also that the big thing for me was I was working in a record shop in Manchester called Spinning Records, and Spinning was kind of like the rave shop in Manchester where you could get your flyers from, or you could get your tape packs. It wasn't CD packs back then. And obviously you get your vinyl and stuff. So I kind of built up quite a few relationships with DJs and promoters working in the record shop. And actually, you remember, the venue Bowlers in Manchester?
Yeah.
Bowlers. So the big rave in Bowlers was called Compulsion, and that was kind of like the pinnacle of rave if you lived in the Northwest. DJ Demand was running it, and of course you had like Hixie and Dougal and all the main guys there, but a lot of Manchester artists were performing there, like Sarge and what's he called? Stu Allen. I don't know where Stu's from, but he was like a main resident there.
Yeah.
And just from working in the record shop, I managed to meet the promoters, and then they gave me a few slots at Bowlers, which was a big deal for me back then. And I guess that's where it all took off for me.
Yeah, that's a little bit like we got similarities there, because a lot of gigs for me came from working in a record shop back in the day, because I was in Catapult in Cardiff, and it was a hub. It was like all the promoters would go in there, get chatting to everyone, and I had so many gig opportunities through there. So yeah, similar thing.
We didn't have social media back then, did you? You didn't have Facebook, all that sort of stuff. You had to go out to these places and these places to meet the promoters, meet the other DJs. It's a big part that unfortunately some people won't get to experience that. And I think I'm so glad I did manage to experience it, because I thought it was a really really cool part of what we've all done.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change that either. I'm happy we didn't have social media for that period.
Same here. Because you think of all those old festivals where you didn't have people holding a phone in the air. I mean, it was hands in the air, but not phones.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think as well, like when same as you, when I was putting together the Cali and Juice USB. And we were looking at footage of like Escape in the Park and Creamfields and old festivals like that. And when you drop like a big tune or something, you could just hear a roar of like horns and whistles and people screaming, and that's something you don't get anymore. And again, I think it's because people's attention is being a bit diverted with like, yeah, I'm enjoying that, but I'm also looking at my phone and taking a picture, and I want to film this bit as well, even though I'll probably never watch this video ever again. So the phone is definitely distracting. And I saw the other day someone post saying, should we have like events where there's no phones? And it's a tough one, because I think it's a good idea, but then are people gonna willingly want to do that? I think people are just so used to having a phone now that to take it away from them, I think that I don't think a lot of people would like that.
I think the post was banned from the dance floor, so not you can still have them, but if you're on the dance floor, it's in your pocket, so you can
I've seen that. I've seen that policy at a few techno clubs. When I was living in Amsterdam, a few of the clubs made sure that as soon as you're on the dance floor, you're not allowed to pull your phone out, because they wanted to create that together vibe and everyone there for the music and all that kind of stuff. Do you remember when the whole social media thing kind of started and we were starting on Bebo?
Yeah. I
the one was it MySpace?
Yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, back in the day, Bebo and MySpace, they were the ones, and you thought they would never go away. So maybe we will get rid of Facebook one day.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we can hope so. All right, have we got any more questions? Let's have a look. Is Kid Chaos still going? Yeah. Well, Kid Chaos was he was sort of he was heavily involved in that festival. That unfortunately got cancelled this year. But Hidden Wonderland.
Wonderland, yeah.
So that's
he's planned for that as well, and that's rescheduled for next year. So that looks brilliant. The website, the artwork, it looks like the foreign festival. It's really
such a shame.
I'm proud of Chris for that, because I think there's a lot of new festivals starting to happen, or there was supposed to be a lot of new events were popping up and new festivals, and it's quite hard to stand out from the crowd sometimes.
Yeah.
I thought whatever Chaos and his gang did with that concept, it really did stand out. You mentioned the artwork. The artwork was awesome, and I think lineup as well, really well thought out, because when you've got a budget to spend on a lineup, sometimes you can't book the biggest artists out there because they weigh too much money. But that doesn't mean you still can't be creative with the lineup. And I think, he did a great job of taking like techno and house and trance and EDM. And of course, the hardest, which is what we're all known for.
Yeah,
so I hope next year.
Yeah, when I saw the artwork and the lineup, and like every box was ticked. You didn't miss a trick. It was, it was a shame to lose it. I was really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the best festival that never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like something Tomorrowland was running. It had that kind of vibe to it. It was really.
It looked like Tomorrowland, but also without sort of copy. It also had its own kind of thing about it.
Definitely, yes, it did. Yeah.
It really nailed it, absolutely. So, it looks like a question for you, Dale.
At the very beginning, yes, it's obviously God. Thank God. On with the
Why did you have a mustache?
Yeah,
was it like a dare, or was it a fashion statement?
No, I just, being in lockdown, I wasn't going out, and I thought, do you know what? I've never had a moustache. I don't want really to have a moustache and go out in public with a moustache. I thought I'll grow it while I'm in the house, completely forgetting that I was then going to go online and do a live stream. And people were going to see it anyway. So at least I can say now, once upon a time I had a moustache, and it was a perler as well. Fair play.
Yeah, you need to dig out that episode, even if just for 2 minutes, just to have a look and
check it out. Oh.
Yeah. Did you keep it once you shaved it off and put it in a memory box?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. A picture of it next to my bedside on my bedside cabinet, though.
With your flyers and lanyards and wristbands.
That's right. Yeah, and a picture of my moustache.
This is a cool question. So do you think live streams will be a bit feature after lockdown? I guess it means, will we still see a lot of live streams? I think we will. I think that what's happened, and all of a sudden there's been tons and tons of live streams coming out. I do think it's changed. I don't think it's changed things a little bit, and I think live streams now have become more of a permanent feature that I think will stick around after the live stream, after the lockdown. What do you think about that? Because you've done a couple of live streams, haven't you, recently?
I really hope they do, because I know a load of people would have spent a lot of money setting up the equipment and a lot of time and effort getting the recording stuff right. So if you've got a really cool setup going, then it'd be a shame for it to go to waste. And I think it's become more accepted now. I never used to enjoy watching someone from a phone, because I get distracted really easily. But there's a few artists that I'm really, really digging. Not so much in the hard dance world. I've not been following too many of the hard dance DJs. More just there's a cool guy in America called, what's he called? That guy I like. Sorry, I'm asking my girlfriend his name. The guy with the moustache.
Oh, Mark Ribberley.
Mark Ribberley. Have you heard? Not you, Dave. There's this guy called Mark Ribberley.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, amazing.
The guy that it sets up stuff in the hotel room and does all the loops and
Yeah. Dressing gown. Yeah.
He looks like a '70s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw him do a gig just before lockdown, and the gig must have been like to 5,000 people, and he just had pants and a dressing gown on, like he was in his hotel room, and he just did the gig in his pants and his dressing gown. And I tell you, that guy is like literally come from nowhere and just created a thing for himself. He's fantastic. Yeah.
A lot of talent, yeah. People, if you've not seen him online yet, then you should definitely check him out, Mark Ribberley. And he was supposed to be performing in Manchester at Parklife Festival last month. So I was going to go down and see him. Is it last month, Parklife? Yeah. He was supposed to be on in Manchester anyway, which would have been my dream come true. But obviously all this bullshit happened and everything's been postponed. So hopefully I'll get my chance next year.
Yeah, I think the one thing I've loved about the live streams is I think like the live streams for anyone who's not like a big name artist and they're not playing in big clubs and stuff, it is the biggest opportunity for them ever, and including the lockdown as well, because all of a sudden it's like the playing field has been leveled because no one's got gigs. No one's got these big gigs. No one's been put on these big stages. All of a sudden, you've got like small, like, little up and coming guys and bedroom DJs and stuff. And they've got the same opportunity to get in front of like a crowd as anyone else. And like when I've looked at like some of these up and coming guys and seen the quality of their live streams with the, the banners all around and like maybe like animated things or animated visuals behind them. And I'm like, fair play. Like some of them are giving the bigger guys a run for their money, and it's really cool for these guys to get this opportunity where they can put themselves in front of an audience, and they've got the same, they got no advantage or disadvantage to any of the big guys. It's really cool.
So you did the Rave Anywhere stream?
Yeah, that was incredible, that one. Yeah,
the setup looked out of this world.
Which stream was that?
The Rave Anywhere one, the one in that's the best, one of the best live streams I've seen from the UK. Absolutely, it was just basically what it was a warehouse owned by a company that do like light and maybe sound for like big festivals, and basically they just got a space of the warehouse and set up all the gear. And that was
brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah, the production was just out of this world,
and the quality it's moved on massively. It's gone from just someone setting up an iPhone in their kitchen. It's another level now, and I think it's made people think outside of the box a bit more, rather than just setting up their phone anywhere. They're thinking about what it looks like, what it sounds like, and the quality of the feeds and stuff are much better than what they were before the lockdown. So it's a big learning curve for people as well too.
Definitely.
But like, are people watching it from the phones, or do you think like, everyone does it properly, set up the TV so you can have like a bit of a dance around the room stuff? Or
I cast to my TV, so it's coming through my nice TV, and it's coming through a good sound system, and I think a lot of people do that. Yeah.
What I've seen recently, and the Rave Anywhere guys did this. So like at certain points of the live stream, they I think they link up to like ravers and stuff, so they're in their house and they're on their Zoom. So then you'll have the DJ DJing, and then in the little corner you'll get two people in their house having a little dance and having a drink. So trying to make it more interactive, and I think that's a really, really cool idea.
Brilliant idea,
yeah. Did you see the DEFCON one as well? DEFCON one live stream? That was that was mind blowing. The D-Block and Esther one was just
money. Wow.
I mean, was that basically just DEFCON recorded without a crowd?
Yeah, well, the venue, the main stage that they had on that stream with the big DEFCON symbol in the middle.
Yeah,
that's the land where the main arena is normally.
Oh right, I thought it was. I assumed it was.
I'm guessing they'd already probably paid in advance to hire the land, and they thought, well, we may as well do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked incredible, and with the drones instead, the drone footage was just unreal as well.
They had like a river. They had a couple of sets on like a stage in the middle of a river or a lake or something there, and even with that, they had sort of lights and stuff on the embankments either side and smoke either side of the embankments. It's phenomenal, brilliant production.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was. I think that's probably the best one I've seen. It was spectacular. So, all right. So we've got a Kidstock question. Is there plans for a Kidstock after lockdown? I know you touched on it a little bit in the podcast, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, nobody in the world wants another Kidstock more than me, but I just have to make sure that. Well, first of all, we need to get over this lockdown bullshit so we can start really, thinking about when we could do it and where we can do it. The important thing for me is just to make sure that it's done properly, because last time I did Kidstock, we had really bad weather problems the day before.
Yeah.
And that meant that you were at the last Kidstock, Callie, right?
Yeah, the Clubland one I did on the Friday, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we had Clubland at the same venue, Clubland on the beach, and the rain and the lightning was so bad that it completely wiped out the event. And that kind of made me panic a little bit for the day after, and made me move all the stages onto the solid hard ground. Which meant we couldn't use the beach stage, which was really shitty, because doing a beach festival, you want to have the stage on the beach. But obviously safety comes first, and I didn't want to be in the same position as the day before, where people and structures were literally sinking into the ground and into the sand. So
yeah, and
we made the decision. Yeah, we made the decision to put it on the hard ground, and it was still a really great event. But obviously, just our luck, the sun came out that day, and it was like absolutely beautiful weather all day. And we could have had it on the beach after all, but we had to stick with the safety call. So I just want to make sure when we do it next time that we give ourselves the best chance of having great weather, or we're in a venue that can really work for whatever the weather is, or the dates at the right time of year, so we've got good weather on our sides, or perhaps maybe even not go back to the beach anyway, because we've used the beach for the last 4 years, and there's obviously loads of cool sites around the country, so I'm constantly looking and thinking about different venues. But in answer to the question, there will be another Kidstock, but there's no real plans yet. I don't know where, and I don't know when. So
okay, cool. And you've got a collab with Serotones coming up, have you?
Yeah, asked by one of the Serotones conveniently.
Some plug-in self-promotion going on there, definitely.
Anything else you need to sell, Mark?
I look forward to that, because these guys as well, a little bit like you, they've really got their own fresh sort of angle, their own sound. So that's going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw that the Serotones had released something on Kutski's label. Is that how you say the name? Serotones, yeah. And I messaged the page saying, "Hey guys, cool tunes, send me your tunes or something." And then it was what's he called? Aaron. Aaron messaged me back saying, "Yes, it's Aaron from Fujinku or Translinquence." And obviously Aaron used to be part of the Kid Fetchus label and played a few Kid Fetchus events back in the day. So it's a small world, really. I thought these new producers had come out of nowhere, but in fact it had been guys that had been working with for years. But they're doing some really cool tunes, and the collab we've got at the moment, it's kind of, well, I would say it was about 80% finished, 90% almost. It just needed a really good mix down. I mean, I was happy with it, and I just tapped up Aaron yesterday saying, "Okay, what's the latest on the track? Have you done a new version, a new export?" And he was like, "You know what? I think I'm just going to start it all again and start with a blank screen and start afresh." So I was like, okay. Great. Oh, wow. So the collab was really close to being over the line, and now it's moved back another 6 months. But
yeah. Oh no, it's not. If I know Aaron, it'll be done in 6 hours. So
that's true.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up soon. So get your questions in. We got any more questions? Hi guys. Any of you go back to house parties and get in the decks after an event for a party? We used to all the time. I mean, years ago. Every weekend we'd finish a gig and go straight back to someone's house and yeah. But I mean, I haven't done that for so long. I've seen Soundrush do that quite a lot.
Wait. I've just got to stop you a minute because I think you're telling a bit of a porky pie there, mate.
Why is that?
Well, I was in Amsterdam with you a couple of months ago.
That's a special occasion, isn't it?
I
was in Amsterdam with you. We played the gig, and I was like, right, boys, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. Let's go. And you were like, nah, we're just gonna chill here. And then I saw you both the next morning on the bus on the way to the airport. And neither of you had been to sleep. You both in someone's house, and
we went back to
Amsterdam.
Hotel, didn't we, with all the Scottish guys?
Yeah, we did. So yeah, now
I got the security guy locked me in the revolving door because I didn't.
Oh yeah, that was right. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, I remember that.
Yeah, you found out that we weren't from the hotel, and he called us over, and he said, "You're not from this hotel, are you?" And I said, I speak to him behind me. So he went up to Dale, and Dale was in the revolving door. So we pressed the button and locked it, and kept him in there. So yeah, but I mean, doing the party thing, I don't know. We used to do it every gig. Now it's quite rare. So if we go back to a party, and probably even more rare to jump on decks after a party as well.
Yeah, that's the old age.
Yeah, did you do that a lot back in the day? Did you do that a lot back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, I did a few late night and all nighters. You know, the worst people for house parties, or the worst people to like persuade you and twist your arm, was always the organ donors, because I'd be playing a gig with them, and you'd have a couple of drinks, and everything would be fine, and everyone would be happy, and everyone's best mates, and then they'd convince you to come back to their hotel room or their house party or their mate's house party, and it all seemed like a good idea until it's like 9 o'clock the next morning. You're stuck in Bournemouth, and you've got to do that mammoth drive home to Manchester by yourself, and it was always them to blame.
Yeah, did you win an award a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I was just going to say this.
Party Animal of the Year or something?
Yeah, proud of that one.
I remember that. Yeah.
No, sorry. I thought you were going to say something else. There was a time where Alex had a gig in Australia, and it was the night before I think you were due to get your flight, and I'm sure the organ donors were like pumping you with drink and all sorts, and with the intention of getting you so wasted you wouldn't make the flight. Do you remember that?
I do very well.
Yeah.
Those boys have got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. All right, cool. Let's get through these last. What do we got here? DEFCON live stream. We got noise complaints because I was smashing it out. Yeah, that was spectacular. Headhunters punched the drone out of the air. No way, I didn't know that. I must have missed that bit. Hello guys, long time no see. Is Escape in the Park going to happen? I'm
next year, thinking it.
I think it's getting rescheduled. So I don't know if that's official, but I mean, it's just common sense now because we're in sort of July and it was arranged for September. I don't think we're going to see any big events now. You know, maybe Christmas, maybe New Year, but I wouldn't be surprised if the next big event's now or next year.
Do you think you'll DJ again this year?
Yeah, I think we'll see some small events towards the end of the year, and I hope that's what happens, to be honest. I hope that we don't see big events this year because I think people are going to be dying to go out so much now. I think if the big events aren't allowed now this year and all we see is small events, I think we could get a healthy little resurgence into the small events, which I think is really needed. Because I think, you know, just before this, a lot of the small events were quiet and, you know, people weren't always supporting the small events. So I think if the big events are held off and we start to get the little events, I think people are just going to want to go out. And I think it could be really good for small promoters. So I kind of hope that's what happens.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, definitely.
I think quite a long way off, but I really do imagine New Year's Eve will still be spent in clubs and venues.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it would be a shame not to get New Year's Eve. And maybe if we don't get big ones, again, it could be just really good for the small promoters if we get some small New Year's Eve events. I think it could be really good. I think it could be
a small club, rammed to the rafters would just be incredible, wouldn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah. Hey, look, we got sorry to interrupt. We got Michael Faze has joined us.
Hey.
Hey, Michael Faze, how's it going? So yeah, it's good to see
you guys did a collab together. You and Michael did it.
We did about a year ago, and we need to catch up actually, because we were speaking a couple of months ago about doing a follow-up to it. So yeah, we need to make that happen. So very, very talented producer. Definitely one in hard dance. He's got to be one of my favorite producers. Like, the guy is so good. And anyone out there who's up and coming or wants to learn tips and tricks and secrets and stuff, you need to get on Michael Faze's YouTube channel, because he's just an absolute machine at doing like really cool videos to sort of help up and coming producers. So yeah, check him out, guys. Check him out. Right, what else we got? Rusty. Yo, Rusty. Oh, he's just joined us now. What else we got? Can't wait for your USB to get posted. Happy days. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. That's just a good one for you, Al. How have you been keeping busy during quarantine?
How have I been keeping busy? What's there to do? I mean,
USB, mate. USB. That's what you've been busy doing.
USB.
Yeah, I think the cool thing is with the lockdown and everything, I think it's enabled people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Because like, I've seen you do a few live streams, and I don't think I'd seen you sort of really do many live streams before this. Then you got your USB to show for it.
I think, like you just said, all the things that you wouldn't get round to doing normally, because life gets so. It's made me slow down and kind of painted the wall in the front room, and I've made a little DJ box and all those little home DIY jobs that needed doing and things like that. And I've been able to spend a lot of time on music, which is really nice. Not so much my own music. I've been kind of producing for a few other clients and doing some engineering work. But yeah, I basically spent most days in the studio or with my girlfriend or with my cat. So it's been quite a nice few months, really. But yeah, missing the clubs anyway.
Yeah, that's the same here. Missing the clubs, but other than that, it's been nice. It's been nice to recharge, do a few different things, or all those things on your to-do list you never have time for. All of a sudden, you're thinking, "Oh, I can finally get around to that."
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, cool. What we got left? Only a couple left. Are we going to see a new Cali and Kid track? Well, do you know what? After there we go. This is it was this guy.
Yeah, mentioned the Riot and Cali thing. So he's obviously doing it again, isn't he?
There we go. Well, we did talk about it, didn't we, about a year ago?
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago we spoke about it.
Yeah, it might have been. And again, life was just so hectic. There's always gigs and there's always this, and it just never kind of happened. But yeah, maybe now we've got time. Maybe we can, yeah.
Yeah, you've heard it here first. It's official now, so it has to happen. How do you feel about making something? How do you feel about making something a bit faster?
I'd love it. I'd love it because I'm playing loads of your stuff, and in my sets now they've stopped being like 150 BPM, and now my sets are all over the place. So yeah, I'd love for me. There's never been a better time to do something faster. So yeah, I'd love it.
Let's get on it. We'll chat after this.
All right, cool, nice one, Mr. Dips. You've made two good collabs happen there. Yes, Mr. Faze, cool. We'll definitely. I'll message you after this and we'll chat. All right, guys. So when are we going to see a collab from the three of you? There we go. We can get Dale involved as well. We get some vocals off Dale. 170 BPM collab with MC Shocker on vocals. Nice.
Brilliant.
Do you know what Thimbleby Farm is?
Yeah. So that was the very first venue for, I think we did 2 there, or maybe even 3. I can't remember. I think we did 3 events at Thimblebury, but when we started doing Kidstock there, the guy who owned the farm also decided to put on his own festivals, like after Kidstock, a little bit more hippie-fied and stuff, lots of like live musicians and bands, but they were a little bit more open than we were with the whole narcotics and drugs taking. And his festival got raided. He got arrested for letting drugs being sold on his premises, and he ended up going to prison. So it just really fucked it all up for Kidstock, because even though we didn't have any problems at our event, this site started to get a bad name, and the site owner was kind of barred from getting an events license. And I did message him a couple of years ago just to see if anything had changed, and he kind of said, absolutely no chance. The police hate him, and they're always waiting for him to slip up. So nothing at Thimbleby Farm, but we have been looking at a couple of other farms. So there might be something on a farm one day soon.
Sounds good.
Fingers crossed.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks to everyone who's joined us. It's been epic. Thanks for the questions. Thanks to Alex, and thanks for the mix and the interview on the podcast as well. So if you haven't already heard the podcast with Alex in, make sure you check it out. Also, make sure you go to his pages and check out all the info for his USB. Any final words, Al?
Stay safe, look after each other. What was that motivational quote I said yesterday? Happiness is in a piece, apparently.
There we go. I think that's a perfect sentence to end on. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.
Catch you later, guys. Have a good evening.
Cheers, guys.